Pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Just a reminder that we're on Zoom this morning, and everyone indicate to me if you'd like to speak. We have Commissioner Britnell on Zoom with us this morning. So I will call for additions to the agenda. Danny.
Yeah, we had a fair board meeting last week, but just update on that.
Okay. Amy?
I do not think so.
Okay. Christy, do you have any additions?
Nope, not this time.
Okay, Ernie?
Sort of an update on the American Rescue Plan. And then I'll just say Mike Hanson, Grafton High School, my talking. Two quick deals.
Okay, I don't have any. Do you have any?
I did not.
Okay, everyone got the minutes to the January 2nd meeting and looked over the monthly bills. Are there any questions?
Yes, just to state on the last minutes that it was stated that Ernie took the fair board when we did portfolios, and that should be Denny Skorheim.
Okay,
Was there another one, or that was
the one I
just the one on portfolio? Otherwise, I make a motion to approve the contingent or the minutes and bills.
okay, second.
Second.
Are there any other additions, corrections, or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes and the monthly bills, say aye.
I,
Nay, motion carried. Okay, we will go to employee time. And Christy, do you want to go first?
Yes, I wanted to introduce our newest auditor staff, Kelsey Street, joined us on January 3rd. She comes from Tennessee, and it's been great to have her in the office.
Okay, welcome Kelsey.
Welcome.
Do you have anything you want to add to that?
I'm excited. It's been good so far, so, and Kirsty's been a ton of help, so, yeah, I'm excited to learn and grow and meet everybody. I've only met a few, so, yeah.
Okay, well, if you have any questions or any concerns or anything, just make sure you let Christy know or Commissioner Britnell or any of us. So welcome.
You got a good winter coat for this weather visibly compared to Tennessee?
Yeah, I'm not used to it, so I've been freezing for the past like 5 days, so, yeah.
You'll build up a little layer as
Yeah.
you stay there longer.
Yeah,
But it never gets easy.
I know, every day I'm like, oh,
You could have been at home with 13 inches of snow.
I know. They got a bunch, but I mean, it's cold there. My mom says like 11 degrees.
Hmm.
I was like, yeah.
Welcome.
That's our,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay,
I feel like.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else for employee time? Doesn't look like it. Okay, we'll move on to sheriff and.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
A couple things one of them didn't make it on the agenda, but a rehire for the jail. We dismissed somebody from the jail, so I would like a motion to rehire in the jail, please.
Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Can you be full staff again?
Yes, if we hire one more, we'd be full staff, yes.
Okay. No further discussion. I'll take the roll call. Denny,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Ernie,
Yes.
Christie,
Yes.
myself, yes, motion carried. Let the hiring begin.
Along with Agassiz, I applied for a grant, it's called the Law Enforcement Resiliency Grant. And it's a grant that was approved, through the state of North Dakota. And it's for current, and retired law enforcement and correctional officers. And the grant is to provide law enforcement resiliency programs, defray administrative costs, therapeutic training, and outreach costs of providing mental health and wellness support services to current and retired correctional officers and law enforcement personnel. Funds will be awarded through a one-year formula grant process. Heidi helped me through this process, Heidi Jensen from Agassiz, and we were awarded $50,320.98 for this grant. I feel that this grant is going to be beneficial to not only the law enforcement side, but the correctional staff. We have a lot of issues with PTSD and other issues that this should help with that, and maybe retaining some of our people that we've lost in the past because of those issues. So it is not a matching grant, so it is something that we applied for, and Heidi Jensen to Agassiz will work with us to implement. So very exciting to be awarded that grant.
Amy,
Thank you for applying.
Just, so it will be in conjunction with Agassiz, Ron, as far as services to provide your staff if needed from them,
Yes.
and that's how it
Correct,
will be used.
through Agassiz, yes, Agassiz. Within 72 hours of contacting them, they will have an appointment with them. So it's something that I know our EAP is available, but it takes a long time to get an appointment through our EAP. So this grant should help with the immediacy of getting people some help when they need it. So
Great.
I'm excited about that.
great.
I do have, I will be up to get some signatures from you, Christie.
Okay.
So if I could have Heidi or have Christie sign for that part of it. And Heidi's gonna help with implementing the grant and getting that all lined up, but I need Christie to sign some of the paperwork for that grant.
Is this a 1 year, like you said, it's a 1 year, but is
Correct.
it, this is like the first year, it could be successive years in the future, depending on, I mean, do you anticipate that you'll use up this funding pretty quickly, or it's hard to know, but.
It is really hard to know. The grant just says it's a 1-year grant, but depending on how much of the grant is used, there could be more grants available, yes.
And this was approved by the legislature
It
through,
was.
do you remember the bill number? by any
I do
chance?
not,
Okay.
no.
Okay,
We learned about it late, and so Heidi and I were working on it one night till 10, 11 o'clock, so it came together, so we're very excited for that.
Yes.
okay,
Yeah, Ron.
anything more?
That's all I have, unless you guys have any questions for me.
Nope, nothing that's on the agenda anyway.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Ron.
Okay, Jason, we're just moving right along here.
I'll try to keep us going. Yeah,
Like you always do.
Yeah, right.
This is copies, okay.
The first thing I have today is just a drainage application permit for 2 crossings on County 4. Jagaditis is looking to put some field approaches in. They're 2 24-inch culverts. Met with the water board last week and they approved it. I don't see any reasons not to approve it. And the only thing that Jay asked is we give it a start date, more like June 1, for him to start doing it, so that they can get their planting and the frost, everything out of the way before so they don't have to do an extension. So that's not a problem from my office.
Okay.
But I'm just looking for, signatures and approvals for that one first.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the drain application for two permits for Jagaditis?
Also moved.
Second,
Thank you. Any more discussion on the drain application permit? Hearing none, I'll call for the roll. Ernie,
Yep.
Denny,
yes,
Amy,
Yes.
Christie,
Yes.
myself, yes, motion carried.
The next thing I have is just an update on the Adams store. The asbestos has been removed. So we're to the point now, I just gotta verify that the electrical and if there's any gas or anything else, that those have all been disconnected from the buildings and will be ready for removal. I haven't heard anything back from any of the contacts. The city of Adams is still looking at purchasing back from the county. But I just wanted everyone to know that so far, from last budget in 2023, we paid for $850 for the testing, and the asbestos removal was $4,820 from this year's buildings and grounds budget. So we've got over $5,000 into this already before we do any removals, haul outs, burns and haul outs, whatever we have to do. Before we burn it, we'd have to get a permit from the state and all that fun stuff too, but just wanted to give you an update and let you guys all know the cost that we have into this. So if it is sold back, I don't know what the plans are. We're looking at recouping any of our costs, but if we do, I would just request that it goes back into the buildings and grounds budget line. So we're not hurting on that later in the year. So that's just what I had for that one, just for an update.
So that's the plans, is to burn it then?
If I can,
Will there be concrete around there?
yeah, there's concrete around it. And the thing is, if I can burn it, then it doesn't take us as many trips to haul it away.
Right.
We only have the one side dump semi, so
Mhm.
we could rent some people, somebody hopefully to help us out with it, depending on what we have for debris, but it's one of those things where after we get rid of it, we still have to haul it to
Yeah.
the approved landfill, so we gotta see who will take it. We have to haul it all to Grand Forks. Would be another thing.
Yeah.
so there's a Quonset on the south side of that building, I don't know how you're gonna burn it with that.
That we can't.
Hmm?
We could, yeah, with that, we'd have to have the fire department there so they didn't burn that part. So, I don't know,
You have to knock it down first.
might have to knock it down and burn, yeah. So, cause I don't want it to fall into the Quonset and do damages to the other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
right, but just something I had talked to Scott with, because he's the fire contact there, from what I understand, so.
Mhm.
But just fine, and depending on what's there for the materials, knocking it down and burning it might not save us any time anyways, so. But just wanted to give an update on that one.
Okay,
The next item is our salt. This last rains event that we had, I'm glad we didn't get what they got in the southern end of the state, because we would have been out. We have 2 salt storages that were basically both full before the event started. We emptied them in the one event. We put down less salt now with the new salts that we used than we did before. We put down at half the rate. But with that said, we still ran out. With our salt sales to Park River, community, people around, we don't want to end that. I don't want to stop it, but at the same point in time, with the sales we've had, we will be able to do 250 lane miles of highway. And when you're in the middle of the event, and we're ordering in the middle of the event, if we've got another rain the next weekend, we would have been hurt big. So I reached out to DJ Johnson with city of Park River and ask them, what their thoughts are. About maybe updating our salt shed in Park River, going into an agreement with them for cost share on the building. We would still do the salt, we'd order the orders, they just pay for their salt the way that they have been. And we would increase our capacities. The size of building we have with where we're at, we just can't hold it up. We only have to get like 5 semis and it doesn't take long for us to go through that after this last time.
So the building you stored in is just too small. The salt is available, just nowhere to put it. Okay, okay.
Yeah, and last year, 2 years ago, we had problems getting the salt from across the Canadian border to Total, where we lost it for a month, where we had to find new suppliers and get it all to us that way. Now with this supplier we have, last year we had a couple issues because they ran out of salt in Minneapolis or in Canyon Falls, a distributor, but we got it right from the plant where they brought it into us and we were fine. So we don't really have those issues. We were delayed 4 days for getting our refills done. That was because our loading facility had to break down.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a loaded facility in that, and by the time we buy our salt, the salt that we filled up our shed in Park River at the beginning of the year to now, the salt price went up $47.50 a ton. And then we gotta ship it here, and it gets shipped from Cannon Falls. So right now, per ton, our salt is $253 per ton.
Well, then that makes a difference on how much we order and who we're selling it to and, correct?
Yeah, well, so right now, we haven't done anything to change it, but depending on what happens with salt sheds, I can't put the entire county in a loss because we don't have it. So we may have to look at shutting down our salt sales.
Yeah.
Just so we have it for our roads, because the county roads are a priority.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to let you all know I've reached out to them on that in Park River. They'd have to build a salt shed, so like DJ said, it could be a win-win for us. Reached out to a couple of places about a modification for design, for different things. It's not in our budget for it, but I just wanted to let you all know, be aware of it, that this is going on from my standpoint.
Ernie?
Steve called me last week on this and I told him, I said, to me, we gotta take care of the county first. And I says, if we can still do it for the city's fine, but I said, with the price and everything and availability, it's getting a hot market again.
I did have someone ask me why doesn't the county have salt? And we've always gotten salt from them. And I'm like, so I don't know anything about this. You have to talk to the highway superintendent and there's gotta be a reason. Now we know the reason, you know?
We ran
I
out.
mean, well, plus,
We're loaded again now,
yeah,
and it's.
like we said, we take care of the county, not, we help out private businesses and so forth, but our county roads come first. So,
So the heck was it, how many ton did you put out that one day, you're telling me?
75 ton.
In a day?
And that's what that's putting in at a reduced rate. We just put it down at 450 to 500 pounds per lane mile. Now we're at 200 to 250. So, I mean, you think of how much we could have been.
Be careful how much you put down there, though. You see in Minnesota, they're stepping on it, all the chlorine and stuff now, and hitting in the rivers and the lakes.
Yeah.
It's getting,
Well, that's the benefit about some of the stuff that we're putting down too, is we're putting down less.
right,
It has more of a residual. It's not a brine, so you're not putting it into water ahead of time, and it sits on the road more. We tried to just go right down the middle of the road and let the vehicles move it for us. And by putting it down a lot less and it's a lot more natural, there's,
Seems to work good,
yeah.
yep.
from what I've seen.
So
okay,
that's that one. Next one I want to give you an update is the projects that were supposed to be bid out at the end of this month have been pushed. Due to what's happening in DC, the state DOT has not received its funding. And these projects were supposed to bid in October. We had problems getting through the chain to get everything done that needed to be done through the DOT, just due to their lack of staffing. Or they couldn't get it through their culturals, they couldn't get it through their design pieces, their reviews that they had. And we finally got through all that stuff and now we're to the point where they haven't received their funding from the feds. So being they haven't received their funding from the feds, we have been pushed back till April for a bid date. Which could possibly hurt us for everything else. It's really too bad because if we could have bid in October, there's a chance that the one bridge would have almost been done. Just because of the winter that we've had, we would have been able to pour the concrete and different things. So until then, we're kind of in a holding period, and that gives me a concern because this is just 2 bridges. There are 3 more projects after this that we have KLJ working on design, concept, and everything else to move them in. And I'm not sure if that's gonna push back everything else we have going as well. So with these funding delays from DC and other issues that we're running into, just with our bridges, I don't have warm and fuzzies, so.
He called me last week, he was a mad little cowboy. And I guess Wade wasn't too happy either, so, but it is what it is, what do we do, you know?
Yeah, we sent, there is a new, Brian Fuchs's position has been refilled. We reached out to him to see if there's anything we can do. Can we split the projects back out? We bundle them as one. Can we split them out so we at least move the bridge ahead? Being there's no bridge for removal because that one washed away in the 2022 flood. We feel confident we could get a contractor in there, but they're still trying to piece their funding pieces on their own. So they have no answers for us as of yet. They're working on it. They're not impressed with it either in Bismarck, but it's just, we're all kind of stuck until they can get their plans together in DC and get people funded the way they need to be. So that's that one. And the last thing I have is just a quick update on the St. Andrews Crossing from the last commission meeting. I went to go and create a file and was digging through some other different things and found a file in my office that Sharon had put together. And it's right on the cover of it, it says, May 7th of 2018, board voted to fix one last time with 2017 flood funds. So, they also says on that per Dennis Markison's agreement, we were going to maintain the top of the crossing, which I feel like we have followed that to the T. The last 2 times flood events with FEMA, we've gone through in the springs. Since I've come in, we've addressed the top, we've made it where it's there. We did some stuff this year at their request, but as far as where we are for our river crossings across the county, I think we need to keep this and not put any more money in like we had talked about. So with that, that's all I had for everybody, so.
Okay, I just have one comment about that. So, I mean, it looked like Mr. Selesky was mad. He wasn't mad at us. I want you guys to know that he complimented the commission on how they handled it, just to let you know. He's upset because he can't, get other cooperations, so.
Would you close that road at the end there, or is it closed?
It's not closed right now. For the repairs we had done last fall was with hauling some gravel and some different things, and it was passable. We'll be watching it, and if we have to, we'll close it.
But you probably wouldn't have to close it until water goes over, so.
Spring. The
you know.
spring is very possible.
Oh, yes, definitely, yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so once the spring, when the floodwaters come up and it gets closed, it just may not be reopened. Because let's face it, we're gonna have a flood, that's just what size of it will be. So, but that's something we'll be watching, and like I say, it may just be a permanent closure after that point.
Okay, any more questions for Jason? Okay,
Oh, yes. Jerry did that update on those roads.
Yeah,
Did you copy that, or are you still looking
I'm
at?
still working on it. We're setting a priority list from the stuff that Jerry had gone through and taken a look at of where we're gonna do lines, where we're gonna be doing crack sealing, mastic. We still have some MC 3000 oil. We're gonna take a look at putting that out on the road, so we can just empty that out and get it used. Probably most likely has to be used out by Lincoln, just to get a seal on it and buy us some more time out there. Those are the roads we have the largest traps on, so we've gone through that stage. He's gone right now. I'm going through the stuff, and when he gets back, we're gonna finalize a plan, and then I'll provide that to you guys. So you have a copy of it, so you know where where we're gonna be focusing on for the year.
Jerry went out and looked at all the roads and updated me and a list there, and I told him, I said, once they get it done, that I'd like to see the commissioners all get one.
Yeah,
Kind of a scheduling.
Yeah, it's got, probably already listed, this is what we can do, and
it'll be a preliminary schedule.
Yeah.
Wade and I have kind of touched base a little bit on coming up, trying to come up with like a 5-year plan that we could have. So if there's funding that comes from the state, then maybe there's a possibility to have something where we have something that the state considers a shovel-ready project, so we'd be able to throw it out there and go, hey, we're ready. So it's just something that we'll be working towards in the future to make sure that we keep the things that's scheduled out as much as possible and still have some small things we're gonna have to address. I mean, we're gonna have to address some culverts underneath 19 and we just paved it. So that's a little disheartening, but what do you do? The culverts went out and we're gonna have to take care of them. So.
Okay,
you know, that American Rescue Plan, I'm gonna update John. I don't know if we've got much money in the highway on that, did we, really? I don't either, but in this morning's Herald, if you read it, it sounds like, and it's gonna go through that, they're gonna extend it to 2026 instead of 24. So just for your information, that's all I wanted to know. If you wanna read the Herald this morning, it was in there, so.
I don't see that.
And there was a bunch of information in there as they went through, there was some of the fraud that's going on. People are using it for employees and everything else, so they're getting audited and stuff, yeah.
Throwing money around.
Yeah, throwing money around, but I think we've respectfully done what we're supposed to do here in the district. You know, in some cases, I thought of different things, we're looking at jails and everything else, I said, maybe being this back up to 2026, we don't have to be in a hurry. In other words, because we're supposed to be at the end of this year. Originally.
Guess I wonder, what that bridge at Washington number 9, what's going on with that, or is it gonna be?
We're, the bridge, we didn't wash out, but we're working on, right now is part of the flex fund to get things, so we're working with KLJ to get it designed. And our plan is to have that under construction this summer. With water board and I will be meeting on that more here this after, at about 10 o'clock. When I go down to meet with them, that's one of the things we'll be talking about. We've applied for flex funding, if we don't get that, we'll move through, it's just, it will be replaced with culverts this year.
Where's that at?
9 and 4, just on the east side of, by Cashel,
Oh, okay, that one. Okay.
So it should be up and running
by harvest,
Hopefully.
by harvest, our plan is to have that fully operational, so we will not have any problems with it. We can open that back up again.
Okay, any more questions for Jason? Christie?
Yeah, I have one. I'm just wondering, Jason, are we gonna get that annual highway book with the funding, where the funding went and where you update us? That's usually January.
We haven't started on that right now. We haven't really been able to do some cross checks and things since we had the new program. So I don't know when we'll get that.
Okay,
You mean for each individual?
Well, from what we say we've spent compared to what the treasurer and the auditor say we've spent, we're not matching on some things. So until we can get that matched up, I don't feel like putting a book together would be
yeah.
worth anyone's time. So.
Okay.
But you-
anything more? Oh, sorry, Christie, go ahead.
Karen, but you guys should still know what you spent. It's kind of a tally of what you spent on different projects and pavement and, right?
Yeah,
So you would know what you guys have spent on what project. Isn't that what that book basically shows us?
well, it does, but in the past, last year when we presented that book, we had questions and concerns about how our money, how we matched up with other things. So if you're.
You're right.
We can submit it. If you're looking at to match up to be a complete book, I think we need to wait.
Yeah, I remember that because I actually found a few discrepancies, so. Well, as long as we don't forget about it, because I think those books are super important.
Okay, nothing else? Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
We'll go to unfinished business. Excuse me. Northern Valley Human Service Zone 1-year appointment. Christie?
Yeah, so that is up for the 1 year. You spoke with Jill, right?
That's my appointment.
Yeah.
So I would need a motion to appoint me for 1 more year. And then it'll be changed to somebody else's portfolio next year. So do I have a motion for that?
So,
So moved.
oh, second.
Okay, Christie, and then Amy second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the roll. Denny?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Ernie?
Yep.
Christie?
Yes,
Myself, yes. Okay, we'll go to auditor assistance options.
Okay, so I did reach out to Tyler, they do not do on-site training, but they do the virtual training, and it seems to be fairly helpful. I mean, it is helpful. Obviously, hands-on would be the best, but that's not an option. I gave you guys, the quotes, so with Tyler, it is $120 an hour. They only, did the quote for 24 hours. They weren't sure how long we would need, but I would want that to be, I would love for it to be at least 6 hours straight, because it seems like you get started, then you stop, and then you have to go back. So, if that is an option, I would, I'd like to work with Tyler on getting a schedule set up. And then the other option we have is Jessica from Stutzman County. She has offered to come for the week. We would have to pay for her mileage and her motel room. I talked to Tanya, actually this morning, trying to figure out what a fair rate would be for her, for consulting. Tanya said it's kind of all over the board, especially with this. It's really hard to hone in on exactly what, it is, to compare to. But Tanya felt that $60 an hour would be a fair rate for her. I don't know if you guys wanna put a cap, 60 hours by 40 hours work weeks, that's $2,400. We work more than the 60 or more than the 40 hours a week. So I don't know how you guys, what your thoughts are on that. I'd like to have her as long as I can, you know what I mean, make use of the days if I can. They've run into some issues in Stutzman County, but she is hoping, that she still would be able the very last week of January. So like the 31st in the February, that first week is the week that she would have available.
Amy?
So this would be both.
Well, I don't know, and Christy and I talked about possibly both, but, I don't want to, I don't want the county to spend a bunch of money to do both, but maybe have the option to do both, see where we're sitting, cause that was my concern, is like, which one do I do? Do I go with Tyler? Or do I go with Jessica, because she's more county where Tyler is, just the system itself, so I don't know which one, if I had a choice on which one, what would be best.
Yes, Ernie?
I don't know how to word this, but the best of luck with Tyler hasn't been the greatest. And I think if she has the experience and everything, wouldn't she be the better way to go?
Yeah, I would think so.
And I'm not against both of them, I just
Yes,
lean on her more than Tyler, I'm saying.
correct, that's exactly what I would think. Yes, I thought that if we could have her and then just do the cleanup with,
Yeah.
any leftover pieces of Tyler. Because it depends on who you get, there and
So could we go week by week?
with
Jessica?
it would just be 1 week.
Oh, just 1
Just
week?
1 week, yes, she
Oh.
can only give us 1
Okay.
week, yes, she can only be away from her office for the 1 week.
I would say go with her. If you need a little bit more help,
Then we can go
then
with Tyler.
let's go with Tyler, maybe some technical stuff. But it sounds like she really knows what she's doing and
And you can go hour by hour with Tyler. I mean, this was a proposal, but it was more of what they thought and not necessarily what you told them.
Correct, yes, I could take, 4 hours only of
Okay.
Tyler. I would not, it would be just in increments, hourly increments.
so if
Madam
we
Chair,
have Jessica come from Stutzman County and pay her $60 an hour for the week, plus mileage and other compensation. What do you think, Christie?
You know, my only concern is I think it's two very unique situations, what Jessica could bring to the table and what Tyler would bring to the table. And I really feel like we're going to need to tap into both of them most likely. You know, Jessica can bring in her county experience and show Christie everything that they do on their side, but our software might be set up a little bit differently than what Stutzman has. So all of a sudden then we need Tyler for help. So I really would like to see her be allowed to tap into both, because she has to get Tyler set on a schedule. So if we wait till Jessica comes first week in February and then we're like, oh, hey, wait, now we need Tyler, we might not get Tyler till March, you know, or April when they have openings. So I don't know, Christie, is it an option to set up a meeting with them? And then if we find out that we don't need as many hours, can we cut back on the hours that we've requested?
Yeah, I didn't ask on that, but I would assume that, yeah, we just set up a 4-hour consultation type, you know what I mean? Get in there and see what it would take with the same person, and then go from there. Definitely, it is hour by hour, so it would be per segment. You know, everything that I've done, it's been, you know, the 4 hours in the morning and then 4 hours in the afternoon. So half day increments type.
And plus, don't we have different reports and things for payroll that we have to have done by a certain deadline? So I don't wanna, I'd like to have this set in place so we're organized and ready to go so that we don't miss something. I don't know, Christie, how do you feel about that?
I agree. Right now, over the weekend, I was trying to get the W-2s worked out in the old system, and it's the old system that's giving me trouble now. So I'm hoping to get that. I know that the employees are anxious to get those W-2s, and I am as well. So that is my priority right now. I'm hoping in the next day or so, we'll be on, you know, at least have the data to input by the end of the week, hopefully. So, yeah, I would.
Okay.
So do you need a motion for approval of, using Tyler as proposed based on Christie's? I mean, the necessity, I guess I would make a motion to approve Tyler as proposed as needed in addition to, or do we need two separate motions? In addition to including Stutzman County assistance.
Okay. Amy has made the motion to have, the Stutzman County Jessica come. I'm assuming at what we talked about, $60 an hour plus mileage and other compensation, and then have Tyler come also to set that up as needed. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion?
If, let's say she don't, and I don't think there'd be a problem, approve the $60 an hour, does it have to come back to us, or can Christie and Christie just use your judgment on the price, so we don't delay it? You know, hopefully she takes the 60, but you don't know.
Yeah.
Negotiate.
Yeah, I had her reach out, you know, I wanted her to tell me how much she wanted. She wasn't comfortable doing that, and I get it. So Christie recommended I talk to Tanya. So this morning I did send a text to Jessica beforehand to see if she'd be okay with 60, and she said she would.
Oh, okay,
So,
good,
so
good.
she would be okay with
I
it.
didn't want to delay in case she did.
Yes, exactly. No, I thought the same thing, so I was glad she was able to respond when she did. So I think 60 would be good.
Okay.
So.
Okay, any more discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll take the roll. Danny?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Ernie?
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion carried. Okay. We have an appointment for the Carnegie Regional Library Board, and that is to appoint Tina Anderson from the county. Do I have a motion for that?
Also move.
Second?
Second.
Any more discussion?
There's two on, that'll make two now, or how many on there?
No. Yes, three. Katrina,
Okay,
Gay, and Tina, and then the city will be appointing.
City's gonna appoint.
Yeah, it's there in their ballpark now. So they will find, they're working on it, and then that'll come to us and we'll approve that when they.
so we have our next meeting on the 22nd, so that's kind of why she wanted to get this one appointed, so they'd have her at the next meeting.
Yeah.
And then I'll be at that one, so. I'll be on that.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Denny,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes,
Ernie,
Yes,
Christie,
Yes,
myself, yes, motion carried. Okay. Denny, you wanna give, well, let's go to Ernie, finish his up, Mike Hanson.
I met with, I guess I just saw him down the street the other day and I picked his brain a little bit. We were talking about the schooling and stuff, and I guess with your blessing, I would like to see any, and I told him, I said, you know, one or two or how many kids. Work with them and get some interest in county government. And if I could, with your blessing, bring them in and have them sit by us here and just sit in with the meeting and see if we can get, I want to, how do you say it, tweak some interest in some of these younger kids to get on some of these boards. Whether it be the commission or your water board or your anything, we're having so much trouble getting people. And it seems like younger people get on boards. And I think if, and I told him, I said, you can handpick them or I'll meet with them and stuff. And if we can find one or two and maybe push their interest a little bit in it. So when they get to be older and out in the community, they take some interest in some boards. It's just horrible. And I keep looking every time, we're just almost begging people to be on boards. And he thought it was a great idea. And I said, I'll meet with them and I'll meet with the student or whoever they pick and wanna come down here and I don't know if it'll be a monthly deal or whatever. It just, with your blessing, I think it'd be something great to get interest in these kids.
Or wouldn't it just be part of their job shadow?
Well, you can call Josh Shadow or whatever, but see, they only do that so often, but.
Right.
And maybe with me going up there talking to him or something, we can spur some interest. And he thought it'd be a great idea, so.
I would suggest even more than that. I mean, it's one thing for them to job shadow and just sit and see what we do and not really. If you have especially handpicked, then I think another really good option would be to consider our extension programs and look at leadership development and those that show the interest. I mean, Mike knows, the teachers know the kids that have kind of sought out those opportunities. And I just personally think our county extension program puts on some really great programs could find one or maybe develop one for the youth. I've been through some of their leadership programs and they're fantastic. So in my opinion, that would even be a better way to continue to cultivate that versus, because you're gonna, you get youth and they look at this and go, well, that's not for me. Like, they can't even fathom what that looks like in 10, 20 years for them. But if you can keep them on the path of leadership and where they're going, it'll open up their minds even more.
And I get it, but like he said, and I said too, he said, he was one of them, he watches our meetings and he said, I can't believe what you counties go through and talk about. And I said, you can have all the leadership you want and everything else, but if you bring that kid in and have him sit here and say, God, they're talking about social service and mental health, or they're talking about highways. It just opens, I remember 2 or 3 guys that came to their first meeting here, and after the meeting, they started outside and like, my God, I never thought you guys handled all this. That's what I'm more interested in. I agree with you, the leadership, but I want them to be a part of hearing what we talk about.
Sometimes I think that needs to be more people just in the community. I mean, young people are not thinking about that stuff right now. You need to grow that, but I don't think just general public realizes how much it, so when you talk about new commissioners and people open to that, that's.
You get 1 or 2 of them that come here, and then all of a sudden they go out and talk to somebody else, and I just can't imagine the commission talking about that.
Well,
It's an eye opener, so. if
I
we
can remember when I was running for commissioner, I sat from May till December, I sat through every meeting, and some of you guys looked at these guys, Ernie, I don't think did, sat there and looked at me like, what is she doing here? But if you don't come to the meeting, you don't know what the meeting is about. And the best thing to do is, if anybody's interested in running for county commission or anything, school board, whatever, every meeting is open to the public. And all of us on the commission, all our boards should be welcoming people to come.
Yeah.
We're representing them and we should welcome anybody here to come, unless they're coming to cause trouble, but
And we might not get anybody
So-
to do it, but I just figured
Yeah.
if we could make them feel comfortable and
Yep.
learn a little bit more, it's just a nice tool, so.
Yep.
With your blessing, I'd move forward and talk to Mike and.
okay, yeah.
And I think
we need a
Zoom
motion, but
and having that is
Yep.
another positive, because I hear a lot more people that watch them or that are engaged, and that's a way for us to get out, because to be honest, these aren't the easiest times for people to watch meetings.
Yeah.
If they're working or whatever,
Yep.
so.
yeah, and they can go back later and watch them too, but, okay. We will move on then, we'll go to Denny then with the Fair Board.
Yeah, we had a fair board meeting and they very, very appreciative of the sports commission gives. They had a structural engineer look at the building. He thought that mud jacking up that east wall and getting everything squared away, and he didn't see any reason that. He said the biggest problem is ventilating that building when that ice is melting. But yeah, he didn't really see anything structurally wrong. He hadn't actually dug into the rafters very far per se. But he yeah, he had a totally different view of what that building is capable, what longevity of that building, so.
When you say east wall, what,
It's cracking up, there's a cinder block walls, and it's on the south side and the east side, and it's just settling and cracking, but he thought it could be mud jacked back into place.
of the main building?
Yeah.
Okay.
Danny, who did you say was out? I didn't catch that.
What?
Who was it? Just tell us again, Christie didn't catch it all.
They had a structural engineer come in and look at the building, and they thought a lot of the problems, structural problems, could be taken care of and remedied.
Good.
Okay, where was this person from?
I don't know, I don't believe they said, but
But not from this area?
no.
Okay.
What I'm aware of.
Okay,
Yeah, I think they're sitting on like, well, I shouldn't say the amount, but there's quite a bit of money, but with the advent of repairs on that building, you know, so it's. but
Yeah.
We don't know how expensive that can get. But yeah, that was good news that we don't have.
Yeah. Any more questions for Danny, for the Fair Board? Okay. I just have a reminder about evaluations. That we want to get those evaluations done. So is there any more business? Anybody have any more business?
We've been here an hour.
Sorry, guys,
No, we, not 11.
I can put you guys to work.
Yeah. Well, hearing none, meeting adjourned.
Isn't that what you